What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? So I'm sitting here listening to some Philip Scott and getting my podcast on, and I'm watching one of his videos, and he's talking about how we as Black America affected the election, specifically the reason why Kamala lost, and how that's starting to come out in the media about how the couch, the people that chose the couch, and the people that voted for Trump, how those numbers affected the swing states that she lost, like Georgia, Chicago, Wisconsin, things of that nature. Or maybe not lost Wisconsin, but it's a reason why I think it was purple at the end. It wasn't like fully blue or something like that. Hopefully I didn't get that too wrong at the end of the day. But a lot of swing states she lost, and the reason why is because of the ones that didn't vote and the ones that voted for Trump. Those small percentages affect more than what people would think. And so he put this graphic up on the screen about how basically like a little history of the Democrats and things of that nature. If you want to pause it and read it, you can pause it and read it. But a lot of it was basically about how they would have, how they've won elections, and how they could have won elections, and the percentages of all that good old jazz. And when I put the description of the movie, or the link to the movie in the description, if you want to go there, you'll be able to hear exactly how Phil broke it down and whatnot, because I'm gonna leave that up to him. But the idea that it's starting to come out in the media and they're starting to have to speak on it is crazy. Right? It's crazy in enough, the fact that they're forcing the opposite side of media, the white media, the power structure that we know and grew up under. That's why it's what we know. We are making headway when it comes to forcing certain issues to be talked about, that if you FBA or you ADOS and you know these people, you know exactly that they don't want to talk about these things. And so to hear them mentioning them and basically things coming to light that we already knew is crazy. But the idea of it all stems to the power that we have and what we need to do in the future when it comes to what we found out with this election, and basically how this graphic right here, at the end of the day, when you get down to the nitty gritty, it tells the future of the Democratic Party based off the history that we know and the statistics that we see now. And at the end of the day, it says the future of the Democratic Party based off the results of these last few elections. If they continue to go this way, their projection of winning is zero. It's none, because without the black vote as an 80% block, the way you've had it all these years, without that type of production, you get no wins. And that's the power, right? That's the power that we hold. And that's the power that we must learn to continue to wield. It's not enough to just have a percentage that don't affect. What if we had 70% not? You know what I'm saying? Versus 70% that voted. So we will get there eventually, because more and more people is catching on. More and more people is understanding to the fact that, yeah, we've seen the Democrats for who they are. Definitely for who they are. So check out that link that I'm gonna post in the description, and just know, as FBA, like we had an effect. We had an effect. It's evident in what they're talking about now. It's evident in the fact that Trump won the election, because the people that voted for him were gonna vote for him. The people that voted for her were gonna vote for her. But there were a lot of people that would have voted for her that ended up voted for him. There's a lot of black people in that boat, and there's a lot of black people that would have voted for her that ended up voting for the couch, because they would have never voted for him. So, and that's the reason. That's the reason. And so it's not something that you tattoo on your forehead and sit back and say, we did it. And that's just common sense, although it was spoke on in the video as well. But it's one of those things that when you see it, it's like when you see blood, or like when sharks smell blood, they get even more in a frenzy. It's like maybe we didn't draw blood, but in a sense, we did as a people when you think about what was accomplished. And I don't mean getting him in office, but the message that was sent by not having her in office. Because regardless of who was a Republican, if she didn't win, they would have been in office. It just so happened that Trump was back there again, and that's the Republican that got in. But like, come 2028, she come back with that same bullshit. If they try to make a 2028 Kamala run again, it's gonna be met with the same situation, and not just her, but any other fucking Democrat that they put in front of our face. That's not about reparations. That's not FBA, grassroots, as they say, original, as I would say, trustworthy, like just willing to sacrifice, because anybody that goes into the public sector and fights for us is gonna catch hell in these Americas, and that's a sacrifice. So yeah, it's gonna be L's, whatever Republican. If the next dude, is one of those people that was a vice president or something like that, regardless, it don't matter who the Republican is. They gonna run this shit until somebody had to just revert course and understand that you want us to vote for you. You're gonna have to give us something, because that's what everybody else do. Everybody else votes for shit that they get. We don't. And I think it was shown that's done. That shit is dead. And if you care enough and you want to look at that shit, look at it. And you'll fucking see. It'll start to make sense when all that shit add up. And what they did in California just made it worse. So, kudos. Kudos to y'all that didn't. Whether you didn't because you went the other way, or you didn't just because you sat the shit out. Kudos to those that didn't, because it's obvious that we making some type of a difference. Love.